You were on with Chafee yesterday. Bam, we're live. Was that
Yeah.
yesterday?
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
It's the circle, dude.
Hey, dude, you want to hear something I realized? It's crazy. You probably already realized this. It's just weird it took me so long to realize this. Maybe we already talked about this on the show too, me and you, but if you're a girl, you can hey, what's up, Tommy?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Oh, that was my fault, Caleb. My fault. If you're a girl, Caleb and Tommy, you can, like, let's say you get a job at McDonald's, and then, like, if your manager's a dude, and if you have sex with them once, like, your whole job is changed. So whether it's like you're
you don't even have to have sex with them. You just have to show interest in your boss.
Well, if you have sex with them, you just get crazy leverage. So let's say Kamala Harris, like, and it goes all the way to the top. Like, so let's say Kamala, like, fuck Joe Biden, or the lady who just got hired at McDonald's, fuck the manager there. Once you do that, everything changes. Like, I'm just realizing that my whole life there's been all these people having sex in the workplace, and then I realized, oh shit, soon as these women do this. And I'm sure it could go the other way too with men. I don't know if it can go the other way. Well, just men just don't get this opportunity just because of the nature of the way men and women are set up. But maybe a stud like Tommy G could pull it off. But when you fuck the CEO or someone who's high ranking, your job just changes. Everything changes. You can't get fired. All you have to do is fuck them once.
I know a male sales rep that had sex with his manager, and then she just got demoted to a regular salesperson. So sex change.
Oh, they found out?
Yes.
Wow. Well, hey, if that would have been a girl who had sex with the guy would have been fired, I bet.
Probably.
It just gives a woman incredible leverage. Like, if you're a guy, do not bang people lower on the totem pole than you. Don't bang anyone at work. I mean, unless you like having that being held over your neck. What? Say that again?
Or just have sex with people you trust and love.
Well, that's
a great point.
That's the problem with dudes. We'll convince ourselves that, like, you'll be 60 pounds overweight and the girl will be 30 years younger than you, and for some reason you're still stupid and think that the girl actually cares about you.
Is this a therapy session for you?
Yeah, I guess. Well, you know what connected all the dots to me? I watched I watched so many of your shows last night. I cannot believe how prolific you are. Congratulations. And your YouTube's exploding.
Thank you. It's currently I'm in YouTube jail for a week. They've banned me from posting for a week because a video I wasn't even going to post. I was just seeing what I can get away with on the platform. And then when I see their feedback, I delete the clips. I re-upload it. A video I had no intention of posting got flagged for a strike. It was me sipping lean, the Houston rapper drug, the cough syrup, scissor, as they say in the streets.
Yeah, I watched that piece.
Yeah. So anyways, they flagged it from another. I did a best of 22 video, and that clip made it into there. Yet it's sitting out on the internet in another video just fine. All that to say, it's a little scary when YouTube can just take away your career. If I get 2 more strikes, they permanently delete my channel, which is terrifying.
I got a copyright strike, and I got to go to, like, copyright school and get the strike taken away.
Yeah, and of course, they're such a behemoth that, if I won't even make a dent. I won't even make a decimal place in their bottom line. So if I disappear, there's 500 other people that are going to take my spot. And man, it was interesting. It was a good learning lesson that old Tommy isn't a big dog, and he just has to follow the rules and march straight.
Yeah, they bent what's his name over, one of those Nelk boys. They just scooped his shit up and took it.
He will do it. This other guy, Sneeko, and
what happened to Sneeko? How many subscribers did he have?
A couple. I mean, he was doing 6 figures a month off YouTube, and
Oh
he had.
No.
So I don't know the depths of his story, because I think he said he was playing the red pill guy, where basically, like, Andrew, he was following the Andrew Tate playbook, where you say I'm purposely inflammatory things that you probably don't believe, but it's going to get clicks. And I think that caught up to him. But the idea that you can just take somebody, and then even if that kid were to try to make a new platform, they'd ban that too. Which
Hey,
is like,
can you say on YouTube, for those of you who don't know, the website, the YouTube account is Tommy G. I had him on a couple months ago, and we're really lucky to have him again. He came on, and I don't usually keep in contact with people who come on the show, just so you guys know. I mean, I just can't. There's too many fucking people. But Tommy and I stayed in touch. I think we actually like each other. So so I've been excited to have him back on. Tommy, can you say, I don't think women should have the right to vote? Can you say that on YouTube, or do you get in trouble for that?
You know, I don't know if you get like a strike from YouTube, but I certainly would imagine my audience. I mean, that would be a pretty shitty thing to say. So I think my audience would be like, "What the fuck, dude?" and stop watching me. I think it would be punishment by my audience not wanting to.
Well, as it should be. It's capitalism, right? You should attract like I'm not into sex toys, so I never go into a sex toy shop. But I don't think they should all be shut down. I just don't vote on my. I just don't go there and spend money.
Yeah, and I'm on the other side of the coin where I definitely believe in the capitalism where the crowd goes where it wants, but sex toys have become a good friend in the bedroom.
I learned something. I learned something on your show the other day. One of the shows you visit an insane asylum, or a closed insane asylum, a massive one, where they did lobotomies and all this shit. And one of the things you share in that is that the vibrator was invented to stimulate crazy women, to help them regulate their hysteria.
Yeah, that is. Think about this, dude. For how much of history have men just been such higher status than women that they can just, basically they're just birthing machines, and they don't care if their wife, they're married to this woman, they don't care if she ever comes in her entire life. And it got so bad that doctors literally had to invent a vibrator to give them an orgasm and give them some relief. Like, imagine if you had to go your whole life without coming. How crazy you would be.
I'm just trying to make it an afternoon. I'm just trying to make it past nap time.
Yeah.
Hey, we're the opposite. Well, I mean, I know this is a sweeping generalization, but we're opposites as men and women like that. Dudes are like, hey, you need to jack off less, and women, it's like, hey, can I just get one? Can I just get one orgasm? And dudes are like, I'm trying to cut it back. I'm trying to cut back on my porn. I was also tripping on this, Tommy. I'm 50, and the first time I ever saw sex, it was me having sex.
Wow,
but now there's
unique. Then you're very unique.
Well, now there's like at 11 years old, the boys already see, like, now people have seen because of their phones, they've seen 600 people have sex before the first time they ever have sex. And when I say I saw it, I mean, like, I was just like looking down. You know what I mean? Like, I shit, I can't believe that I'm lucky enough. I'm 18 and I'm finally having sex. I couldn't even fucking believe it.
I
thought the girl, it must have been like Mother Teresa to have sex with me. Go ahead.
I was thinking a lot about that too, which is the age that most kids are exposed to porn and sex. I mean, I still remember. So I was a triplet, and then me and my triplet brother Ben, we were at the family computer, and he's like, "What happens if I type in naked ladies?" And he did, and I think it was like Britney Spears boobs or something like that popped up. But we couldn't get enough of it. We were like, "Holy shit, this is a whole new world out there."
Yeah,
and we were hooked. And then all it takes is, like, if you're in elementary school or middle school, you have one of the friends that has an older brother that's seen more than you have. So it's like, how am I going to teach my own kids about sex? And how am I going to let them surf the internet? Because there's unbelievable things out there. Like, I remember when I was a kid also, 2 Girls, 1 Cup was circulating. There was a video where a guy—
What was that? That was someone pooped in a cup and ate it?
2 people pooped in a cup and started rubbing it on. I didn't watch the whole video, so I can't give you the whole description, but poop.
Where was that? That made it on YouTube?
No, that's some backyard website that.
Okay.
But the kids
I remember that, but I never saw it either. Yeah.
I guess all this to say, the world that if you're raising kids now, the online world that you have to help them navigate and stay safe from, because some of those things are seared into your brain. You see that once and you're never forgetting some of that stuff. Like, there's brutal, horrible things on the internet, and there's also like crazy.
Dude, if you show an 11-year-old boy a penis in a girl's mouth, or in a guy's mouth, that's all he's gonna want to. He's gonna become singularly focused on trying to get that done until he's dead. It's a
instantaneous.
Yeah, it would have ruined me.
Yeah,
ruined me to see
it's
that.
Like crack cocaine.
Yes. Crazy. Anyway, The takeaway from all the videos I watched of yours. First of all, those guys lied to you. Those guys in the LA, in the Las Vegas tunnels, they lied to you. They're like, you're like, how many people are on drugs? And he's like, oh, like 10%. Oh, no, I'm at 20%. Yeah, maybe like 40%. Well, okay, 50%. I'm like, you lying motherfuckers. If you want to know what happens if you do drugs, go watch a bunch of Tommy's videos, and then if you want to know what it's like to work hard and not give a shit about like anything except working hard, go watch his videos, because Tommy's in all these videos and he's working his ass off, and then he followed a guy around who's worth $100 million, not worth $100 million, like this guy made $100 million in cash
from his yeah.
And this dude still like buys shitty homes and goes in there with a shovel and cleans them out. But all the people who are fucked up in his videos, can we pull up his YouTube? They all have one thing in common. They're all addicted to drugs. It's fascinating.
Yeah, the poll, that it's amazing, because I don't have an addictive personality, I don't think so. Like, to think that there's a substance that would want me to, like, that would take me away from my family or doing the things I love or being able to live a proper life, like own a house and enjoy myself. Like, it's amazing the pull drugs can have on somebody. And that's another thing I think about. Like, if I ran Skid Row or if I ran the Las Vegas tunnels, if I was a mayor or governor, like, what do you do? And I think a lot of it, I don't know if a government is going to, like, they can do some things, but it's a personal journey in a lot of ways too.
If my kids became addicted to drugs, what I would like to think that I would do is I would kidnap them and take them out into the middle of Kenya and camp with them, like out in the middle of Africa for like 3 months. That's what I would like to think that I would do. Like, I was looking at those drug addicts, like those. So basically there's a video in there where he hangs out with pimps and prostitutes. It's really, really good. It's crazy good journalism, man. And it's really raw, meaning it's not you don't feel like you're being manipulated. This one, yeah. So this guy's a pimp. This guy's not even addicted to drugs, right? Just his chick is.
Yeah, I think a really interesting thing I'm learning is the line of good and evil. Like, initially, I almost pussied out of this idea, dude. I was halfway back to Milwaukee thinking we're not doing this at night. This is too scary. This is too dumb. We're in the worst neighborhood of Chicago. I'm going home. And then you actually meet these guys, and he's not a stone cold pimp. Like, he's a poor man, and the way they make money as a couple is she goes out and she gives condom blowjobs for $150 a pop.
They are condom blowjobs. I was wondering that.
Yeah, that's what they say, and they were pretty upfront about things. And I think it's a lot of just like economic opportunity. It's a lot of just being stuck in a kind of a drug addicted trap. His woman's addicted to drugs, and like, he wasn't like, I thought he was gonna be an evil person to speak to. He's a guy that if I was sitting on a porch with him sharing a beer, I'm not, he wouldn't be a bad guy.
Right. Not at all. I didn't get bad guy vibes from anyone.
Yeah. Even the guy that sold fentanyl that I talked to is like, I could hang out with him, which is weird to think. Like, initially I would have going into that, I'm like, this guy's such a piece of shit. He's a trash human being. I don't know, man. Good and evil is a tough question to answer sometimes.
So all those people, basically, I mean, he nailed it. And I do have an addictive personality, so I completely understand. You meet a girl, you hang out with her, you meet her in New Orleans. She's 20 years old. She's got some problems at home. Maybe she's been molested, or no, she has been molested. You meet her, or maybe she's 17. You tell her, hey, let's go to Chicago. On the way to Chicago, you get her addicted to meth. Then when you get there, you tell her if she wants more meth, she has to suck some guys off. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't believe that's just like the classic. There's probably 10,000 girls who have that story in the United States. That just simple story. They have the code to you just get someone who's been molested, addicted to drugs, and those two things come together, and you got a hoe.
And a highly manipulative man that stunts the relationship, that he holds all the power. He has the access to the bank accounts, access to the money. He's the protector, but then also the abuser, which makes it a weird dynamic. And Milwaukee's actually a hub. We're in between Minneapolis and Chicago. So That's a story I'm going to start chasing down in Milwaukee is sex trafficking. Like the thing that sex trafficking happens probably 10 minutes, well, 5 minutes, 10 minutes away from my house at a high level. It's just, it kind of blows my mind that stuff goes on.
And what happened to those guys? Those guys, something bad happened to them for them to think that that's a way.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. How were they
something-
raised to think that that's a proper way to be with a woman?
yeah, how do they manage their conscience? Let's say even you could do that. How would you manage your conscience? And another thing is when cops arrest prostitutes, they're basically arresting people who don't like. Not one prostitute wants to be doing her job.
Yeah, that was another thing that was
not
clear.
one.
Yeah, none of them are like, this is a great career path. I'm really the 401k here is pretty good. You know,
Did you almost cry in that one interview, Tommy?
Yeah, with Baby, she was.
That
just
was
so
intense.
It was just like, and knowing that again, like another like a pretty cool like innocent soul. You know, like someone that you're like, wow, like you almost just want to hug her and like pick her up and be like, okay, I'm gonna help you, but then I guarantee like that's what she knows. So it's what she knows right now. So to make the whole transition to do something else with her life would be enormous for her.
I want to see if I can show
and for reference for people that haven't watched the video, Baby is the probably the main character, the main prostitute of the video, and the people in the comments just fell in love with her. Like everyone was just rooting for her and wishing the best for her. And it's tough to see a woman that has like she's charming, she's fun, she's personable, she's cute.
Yeah, great. And what's crazy is even a great body, like not even just like a schlep.
Yeah, and here she is. Fast forward a little bit. Yeah,
there she is. Yeah,
she wanted her face blurred out, so we did that for her. And
a transition here.
Of course.
So it's just heartbreaking seeing people like this because and then to think that
so she's just walked away. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. Here she's just walked away from blowing a guy in that alley, and then you interview her.
Yeah, that to me was the wildest part. Like to be able to zoom in on her customer and like he was waving at the camera or watch her step out of a car that she just got picked up in is like, wow.
And then that other lady basically, I don't know if it was subtle, but she basically lets you know that for the right price, she'll blow you too.
Yeah. She, as tempting as that offer was, I was able to say, no, thank you.
This girl.
Yeah.
She came back and was like, look, let's set up a time.
She's like, I can date you. If you want to date, we can date. And dating is slang for driving around in that old car or going to a seedy motel. And but you look at this woman, just the way she's talking, she's slurring a little bit. She's on something.
Oh, she didn't open her eyes once. The whole time she talked to her eyes were fucking closed.
But the one thing that was also remarkable about speaking with her, she said she was a mother of 4 and all of her kids had gotten scholarships. And whether that's true or not, I mean, I don't think I felt like everyone was kind of giving me an honest perspective. I know sometimes drug addicts can just make up their own reality, but to think her kids are sleeping at home somewhere potentially, and she's just out making money and paying the rent.
Yes. Yep. Hey, drugs are fucking addicting. If you'll do anything to people would do that for nicotine.
Mm-hmm.
People would suck dick for nicotine. Put a stranger's penis in your mouth for a cigarette. I guarantee you it has happened.
Imagine what people would do for just if we cut off coffee supplies to this country.
Yes.
I feel like if you wanted to cripple a country without any violence, just cut off the coffee supply and watch what happens.
I think you have to scoop these people up and then try to take them to a rehab and let them sober up for like a week and then let them go.
I think you also, because there was a very fascinating interview. I think it was an old Vice reporter, and it's basically like what he's found is if people have meaning and purpose, and then they have a community, that oftentimes the drugs stop. And it's like if you can get them sober for a little bit, and then put them in a position where they're doing something they find meaningful, and then have people around them that love them. That's the recipe, but it's a very hard recipe to cook up.
Did you? I want to say the last time I had you on, your YouTube station had like 289,000, and now you're about to crest over 500,000. Did you have a big explosion?
We've been having steady growth of anywhere from 50,000 to 90,000 subscribers a month. So we just keep hammering away, and we're growing.
Who's we?
My team, I got so I do editing, and then I also, so let's say I'm going to LA, and you guys are in LA, right?
No, Santa Cruz, north. I'm 300 miles north, and Caleb's deployed overseas. He's somewhere in the Middle East.
Oh, okay. So when we go to LA in 2 weeks, I'm gonna probably come home with about 6 videos. So I'll edit 2 of them. My guy Miguel will edit 2 of them, and my guy Jack will edit 2 of them. That way we stay ahead of the curve. My guy Keegan is kind of the utility guy. He's the second camera. He's always thinking of ideas. He's booking. We're doing a podcast. We're launching that soon. So he's trying to book guests in all the places that we're visiting so that we can do in-person podcasts. And then I have my buddy Kristen. She does my merch design. She does my thumbnails. And Sarah, my wife, she just put in her letter of resignation. She's going to be handling my merch and then also helping me in our real estate portfolio. She's a lot more detail oriented than I am. So I got a little team. So when I say we, it's definitely a team effort. We're always brainstorming, thinking how to get better, thinking how we can advance this.
Is one of your videographers a girl?
I've had my friend Kristen has filmed a couple older videos, but no, most of them they're all men.
Because I thought I saw a girl follow you out of a building one time, brunette, in one of those videos.
I don't think so.
Jay Hartle, that doesn't work, Sevan. I used to work in a rehab. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to work. Here's the thing with addicts, I think. Every time they quit, when they start up, the only thing that stops them from starting up again is the thought of like how hard it is to quit. And they're like, do I want to go through that again? So maybe you have to quit like something 20 times before you're like, fuck, I'm not doing that loop again. But arresting prostitutes and taking them to jail is just it's just idiocy, because especially kids. Like my wife used to work in a juvenile hall teaching breathing classes and yoga to the kids, and she says there were 15-year-old girls in there who were arrested for prostitution. Like, you can't arrest a fucking kid for having sex.
Who's been taken advantage of their whole life.
It makes no fucking sense. So going back to this team, how does that work? So like, I can't find people to help me that I think are, maybe I'm just too uptight, but like, I feel like, and everyone who helps me, just there's just shortcomings to it.
I know. Well, one, these are guys that I've spent, like when we go on a trip, we might have 14-hour days where we're just grinding, filming.
Yeah.
Always brainstorming, always come up with ideas.
Might have 14-hour days. Don't lie to me. I can tell all your days are 14-hour days.
I like to get after it, but I also I want to make a life for myself and my family that is remarkable. So when these guys grind, man, I try and pay them well. I try to bring them on experiences that
okay, so I don't pay my guys. Maybe that's the problem, because we don't have any money. Yeah, okay.
That's a huge thing. So
okay, so you can yell at your guys. You can be like, dude, I've told you 3 times not to fucking walk in between me and camera B.
No, I'll never. We flow well. That's the other thing. We flow very well, and that's the thing. I think because like if I was just by myself, there's no way I'd scale to the point that I am, and so like it's kind of yes, I'm the head guy of the channel, and it's my face on it, but it does feel like a team effort, and people feel like they have ownership in the brand, and they feel like we're charting in a special direction. So we have that really special buy-in.
Yeah, that's cool. How was your wedding? You got married since the last time I talked to you.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a pinkies up occasion at the Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee. So it was very nice. And
that's a tough name for a place, Pfister.
I know. I imagine
I hardly know her.
Have been made from that, but just having all the people I love in the same room, and being able to say my vows publicly was very special to me, and give a toast to my pop that passed away when I was in high school, and just have everyone there that I love and want to hug, and it's very special.
What's pinkies up mean?
I'm not a fancy guy, but pinkies up is like, the Pfister her parents went all out for this wedding. Her mom planned it, and they footed the bill for it, and it was fancy. It was nice. It was remarkable. Okay. So it was just we're very lucky that they treated us to that event.
Navy Vet 09. Fisters is gorgeous.
It sure is.
So I just can't get past the name. Sorry.
You walk in there and you feel like if you don't have a butler with you, you feel like, oh gosh, am I the one peasant in here? You know. So.
Hey, Sergio Pettis congratulated you on your wedding? Let me see that again.
Yeah, we trained together for a long time. We were at the same gym in Roofersport, and
Are you
unfortunately,
kidding
our
me?
gyms have split.
Wow. That's pretty fucking cool.
He's a really cool, down to earth guy.
Yeah, wow. The Pettis brothers, the world famous fighters. I mean, if you like fighting, fuck, these guys are the shit.
Yeah, Sergio Pettis is like a ballerina assassin because he's so light on his feet, but like his spinning stuff, he just is very surgical and technical and beautiful to watch when he fights.
Was it him or his brother who did him or his brother just win the bare knuckle $1 million or at least fight in the final? Either him or his brother.
I think his brother.
Wow. Crazy. So this team goes out, and then do you fly with them? So you'll fly with them places?
Mm-hmm. So I travel in a group of 3, me, Keegan, and Miguel. And between the 3 of us, we get it done. And so like we got LA in February. We're looking at Phoenix in March. We're looking at Houston in April. We're looking at Brazil in June. I'm lining up the cards for that. But so we're going to be moving heavy these next few months.
Yeah, I feel like your state. When I went to your station, I feel like there were like all of a sudden 8 videos I hadn't seen.
Mm-hmm. What our goal for this year is, without a doubt, every Tuesday of the year, you'll get a new video that's top notch, somewhere you haven't been before, somewhere interesting, somewhere dangerous. And so it's going to be a hard pace to keep, but I'm confident we can do it.
Guys, so last night I was in the garage, 10 o'clock at night, getting my swole on and watching these videos, and my nephew rolls in there. And my nephew's the coolest fucking kid ever from Texas. Grew up on a gaming ranch. Like, he's like a normal human. He's not like regular 20-year-olds. Like, he can talk to people and shit and make eye contact and all the shit that a lot of 20-year-olds can't do. And we're watching these, and I'm like, look at these videos. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I know this guy from the Kia Boys video. And I go, this is all compelling content. No crazy, stupid editing with stupid sound effects and like no fucking clickbait, no hype. No, this is just compelling journalism. This is just like, it was nuts. And he's like, yeah, because he comes from that TikTok world where it's, are you on TikTok?
I am, but I'm like one video away from being permanently banned there too.
God, I don't see anything you're doing that's controversial. It's so fucking crazy. Like, you don't pop on my radar at all. I would have never thought that for anything controversial.
I guess it's for like any drugs that are illegal, like sipping that lean is technically illegal. But why wouldn't you just age restrict it or demonetize it? Why is that a strike? To me, that is.
What is lean? Isn't it just diluted cough syrup?
If you want the good stuff, it's not diluted, homeboy. It's got that little pizzazz to it when you.
So it's just drinking Robitussin, like what Lil Wayne does, or
no? It's the next level. It's codeine, I think. Codeine in your cup, and
how do you get it? Is it just from a pharmacy?
You have to have a doctor that can hook it up, and these gangster rappers do, and it's that drink. It's that purple drink. They mix it with Sprite. They mix it with other stuff, but rappers are obsessed with it. Like Lil Wayne was addicted, or still is addicted to it, and it's a big deal. I mean, you can get any drug. If you do it too much, too long, it's not good for you. But
hold on, it sounds like someone's running a vibrator. Listen.
Oh yeah, I have guys working in my basement right now. We're making.
Sure you do.
Yeah,
that was either an electric toothbrush or a vibrator.
If you guys can excuse me, I have to give me 30 seconds. I'll be back and I'll be finished.
Hey, isn't it crazy that so Big Pharma can prescribe that, but you can't show people drinking diluted? God, we live in such a weird world.
Like, who are these pussies in these offices that are like watching it and being like, yep, and also knowing like that's the majority of my portfolio is all income streams from YouTube, the sponsorships, the ad revenue, the merch. If my YouTube doesn't go most of my income goes away, and it's like I have a lot riding on this. I have people that their biggest paycheck comes from me, and my wife's joining the team. And to think that arbitrarily, and like, of course, I have a rep at YouTube, and I'm like, what's going on here? And she's like, well, unfortunately, there's nothing we can do because of policy. And it's like, what do you mean there's nothing we can do? Like, this is my life. This is what I've literally spent 4 years in this game trying to get really good at this, and I'm putting myself in dangerous positions. I'm putting my team in dangerous positions. I'm like, I have so much riding on this.
Why don't you get exemption? You're a documentary station. It's so obvious you're a documentary station.
My goal this year is to sell some episodes to a streaming platform, and so if you have any connections, we can talk offline about that. But I'm floating my ideas out to some people, but I love YouTube. There's a lot I love about YouTube, and so I want to just be able to be prosperous and keep growing there. But just it is scary that they want to yank your chain. They can, and there's not really any recourse you have.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. Hey, Tommy, what about this? What about releasing on iTunes episodes for $1.99 an episode or $2.99 an episode?
Even a tiny paywall will drastically decrease the amount of
no, both. No, you still give it away free on YouTube. So when I used to run the media for CrossFit, we had all our media free on YouTube, but then we also started moving it to Amazon where you had to pay for it. People don't care if they have to pay for it, or if you can get it free, people will still pay for it if you put it on their favorite platform.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So season 1 with Tommy G, 52 episodes for $14.99, and now I have it in my iTunes folder. Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess part of it is
you still give it away free though on YouTube.
Yeah, I do have a Patreon that people can subscribe to, and I want to keep building that base up. But to me, there's only so many asks you can have of a person, like, hey, buy my merch, check out the sponsor. Like they're only going to take action on a few things. And so I don't want to dilute it by hey, you can get this for free, or you can leave the platform that you are enjoying. Go log in, put your credit card information in.
But there's old idiots like me that will do that. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that like you even advertise it. I'm just thinking like then at least it exists somewhere else. Hey, do you automatically publish to Rumble too? Like soon as we're done here, I have something set up in the back on YouTube that automatically publishes to Rumble.
No, but I'm considering it. The thing is, Rumble doesn't have the critical mass that YouTube does.
I get 6 views a video there.
Yeah. So it's like,
I made 10 cents there last year.
Whoa.
But I'm just saying for backup.
It might not. That's probably a good idea.
So now your library is over there. So if you do get shut down on YouTube, your library is over there.
That's a good point.
Anyway, just ideas, just shooting the shit with you. I'm just shooting the shit with you. You speak to that rapper in
Murder Creek.
It may have been the Murder Creek one. Yes, it was the Murder Creek one. Is that Izzy 93?
Mm-hmm.
And he says something that really disappoints me. Or was it him, or was it the guy at the house that you got busted at when the cops came? By the way, crazy story. We got to hear that story. What are the chances that you're filming with a fucking... Anyway, one of these guys says, you said, how would you change the world? And he says, I'd lower the price of education. And I felt so bad for him because he's so blue-pilled still. Like he wants to lower the entry level to indoctrination camp. Like that's he doesn't realize he's free. He's free. It's like the same thing when the other guy said, the guy hostage. He's like, I don't have an education. Like they have like I'm looking at him like, you're free, motherfucker. Like you think you want to get on the other side of the fence? The other side of the fence is the prison.
I agree with you partially. If he's talking about getting kids to go out for gender studies degrees or sociology degrees, I get what you're saying, but if kids can go be engineers or doctors or
But you could learn that on YouTube now. Everything you can learn how to do open heart surgery on YouTube now. And
Yeah,
it's
but I
like,
think
and
that's
look
the
at your
trend.
other friend. Isn't it the irony that your other friend is made over $100 million, owns hundreds of homes, just bought a fucking resort. That was dope way to end that video. And 123-acre resort. And his life was miserable.
He has a good life.
But he was gangster as shit as a kid.
Oh, he was very
And he flipped the script.
Yeah, I think if there's
Is
one
that
thing
your
I
mentor,
think-
by the way? Is that your dude?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I like the guy. He's a buddy, but
You don't see him every day. That's not the guy you see every day at the jiu-jitsu gym.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm. But I do agree that the blueprint is new. There's endless amounts of free information online, and if you have the will and the hunger to learn, that you'll be successful. I'm actually doing a class now every Tuesday for 8th graders in Milwaukee, and one of the toughest parts of Milwaukee. We're doing an entrepreneurship, like branding, marketing, entrepreneurship, and where the culmination is going to be a Shark Tank pitch where 3 of the kids are going to win, $2,500, $1,500, and $1,000 for their ideas. And I just want to keep reiterating to these kids, any one of you can be happy, any one of you can be rich, any one of you can build a life that you love, but you have to be aware and you have to know the toolbox to get there.
To tell me more about this program. Tell me more.
So a friend of mine got me connected to a principal. It's a little private religious school, but it's not like a snooty private. It's we help kids. And so anyways, I go there every Tuesday. The kids have to show up an hour early to school and be committed to this. And so we're going to be teaching them a lot of different life skills that I think will set them apart, because there's no reason that these kids couldn't start their own lawn mowing, shoveling, nail, hair, t-shirt, any sort of business. And I'm really hopeful that and what I tell all these kids when I was pitching them to join the course, I'm like, any one of you, it's entirely possible that one of you could be the next big entrepreneur in Milwaukee, or one of you could be the one that changes the game in Milwaukee, and any of you can become a millionaire and happy. And I just want to give them a little bit of that fire and motivation that they could, and the knowledge that it could happen to them too.
Why are you doing it? Is the school paying you to do it?
No, because I want to be, I love working with kids, and I want to see Milwaukee become a better place. So I can't boil the whole ocean, but if I can work with 15 kids every Tuesday, that to me is something.
And it's your money?
Partially me and the principal's money. And then also a chunk of it was donated by people on YouTube. So probably like I'll end up probably putting in $2,000 to $3,000, and then people donated about $1,000, maybe $1,500, and then the principal put in the rest.
And so it will be some kid who like, hey, this my plan is I'm going to use my bar mitzvah money to buy a lawnmower, and I'm going to start a lawnmower service.
None of these kids are bar mitzvah money. I've actually owned condos. It's a bunch of condos, but they're shit. I mean, you can buy these condos for, I think we bought them for $25,000 a pop, and we flipped them. But like, these are tough neighborhoods. So actually, when I was in the process of selling these condos that these kids a lot of them live in, is there was a blue piece of paper on all the doors, duct tape, saying from Domino's Pizza, saying, if you have information on our delivery driver that got kidnapped and held at gunpoint, we'll give you a $5,000 reward. So I mean, this is a tough area.
But is that okay? Sorry. I'm gonna take the money that I'm gonna sell crack in my neighborhood, and once I've saved up $800, I'm gonna buy a lawnmower and start mowing lawns. Is that they're basically coming up to you with business plans?
No, dog. These guys. We're not teaching kids how to sell crack cocaine, dude. We're teaching.
I'm trying to Tom. I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out the model of how it works. What you're teaching them.
So like what the curriculum is?
Yeah, like what's the goal? Like I know like Shark Tank is like, I tell you, hey, look, I have this wallet and it's waterproof, and you give me $10,000 and we'll market it together, right?
Yeah. So well, here's some of the structure of the class. Like one of the classes is going to be knowing your audience. So, hey, if you want to get in front, if your job is to sell to daycare owners, how do you go about finding them? How do you get further connections? What does the ideal customer look like to you? How do you reach your ideal customer? And then teach them how to do a door-to-door pitch.
Okay.
Things like that. Giving them the mentality that, hey, you don't need a million customers to be rich, following the 1,000 true fans model, where it's like if you have 1,000 people paying you $100 a year, that you're a six-figure earner, and then showing them how to budget, building a business plan, doing cold calls, different things like that.
Okay. And then at the end, is there some like final, and that's how they win the 2,500, 15?
At the end, the top 3 people will win some money to go towards their venture.
God, that's cool. And that, wow, that's really cool. You're doing that.
I feel really lucky to be doing that, and it's just exciting to me too. Like I just want to see what can, because I think a lot of the message these kids hear is like either you can't, like, you can't really do it, or like society doesn't want you to win. And I think for them to be like, man, maybe like to let them know that, hey, I know a friend of mine who's a bank robber that's a millionaire. I know a friend that lost his basketball scholarship for selling weed, and now he's a millionaire. Like I see people of all shades that are doing very well, and it's just if you follow like getting rich is just a game. If you follow the principles, anyone can do it, and that's what I want to kind of impart on them.
God, that's cool. That is cool. Is that really true what you just said? Getting rich is just a game. If you follow the principles, you can do it.
I think so, dude, because it starts with, like, let's say the most common vehicle for getting rich, other than like owning a big, huge company, which is a lot of work, is real estate. Anyone, especially like these kids that are living in these places that you can buy for 25, 50K, like they have to save up $5 grand, $6 grand, $7 grand with a FHA loan to get their first property. And then when that starts rolling, then maybe 2 years from then they can get their second property. And then all of a sudden they're getting a property every 6 months, every 3 months. And all of a sudden they are financially independent off of real estate. Like anybody can do that. It's just, are you disciplined? Are you going to go to the club and buy, luxury alcohol like Hennessy, or get that little Gucci bag? Or are you going to save that money and buy property with it? I really think
the $100 million man doesn't even drink alcohol.
I think we're seeing one thing I see from a lot of people now that's kind of a cool movement in some ways is a movement towards sobriety. And while I smoke a little bit of weed and I enjoy it, and maybe I'll do mushrooms every couple of years, or who knows, I do like the idea of largely being sober. And I think alcohol is a big killer. Like I think there's people that can enjoy it moderately, and that's cool. I'm fine with that. But I think a lot of people are low-key alcoholics, and it's not like talked about how much of a poison it can be if you use it the wrong way.
You were a Division I wrestler at Iowa?
No, I was a D3 wrestler at Wisconsin Whitewater.
And how many years did you do that?
4 years, from freshman to senior year.
Yeah. God, it shows. You have such confidence in all these scenarios. You're so chill. And by confidence, I don't mean the kind of bravado that like people think is confidence, but you stand close to people. You stand and you're very chill. You're so chill.
I
like it when you tell the camera guys, hey, everyone be chill.
When we were going through the underground tunnels, like if we encounter a homeless guy with a knife, everyone just be relaxed.
Chill. I want to show, I want to go to the most dangerous city in America. But before I do that, I want to talk about one more piece of business. So the shorts game is now alive on YouTube, meaning in February, I think they're letting us monetize shorts.
Yeah.
And there's this game you play where you walk out in the streets of the world and you hold up a sign and you say, hey, if you can take me down, I'll pay you $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
And so that might be like a 13-minute video where you wrestle like, I don't know, between 5 and 10 dudes. And now you've broken those into shorts. And I'm like, this guy's brilliant. So now you got the main video, And then it can also be 10 little videos. Is that working? I mean, I just saw that. I'm like, this is so good.
Yeah. Well, especially when they officially monetize it February, I'm going to be putting heavy effort into the short game. Because
Okay,
I'm
so
sure
it's not monetized yet. I saw they sent me something, but I just assumed it started.
Yeah, it starts February 1st. So it's
Okay.
good to gear up for it now. And I think they're going to heavily push it in the algorithm that, because it's a kind of a rival to TikTok. They're going to use the same model as TikTok as far as how they do the sponsorships. Like every 4 or 5 videos you scroll past will be an ad. And I think it's going to be a huge opportunity. And again, like I love, like if you talk about the entrepreneur side, it's like you want to have a few different revenue streams. All of a sudden, this just became another revenue stream.
What about putting shorts? I'm asking you, I'm not suggesting to you. What about putting shorts on a different channel in case this channel gets shut down? You have your shorts on another channel.
Yeah, I mean, if this channel gets shut down, I'll have bigger fish to fry. But certainly, I think the strategy of having a backup place for my content is probably something I should be thinking about and doing.
Hey, as YouTubers, are we allowed to publish the same? What's the policy on publishing the same content to 2 separate channels?
I think as long as we wouldn't copyright strike each other, then we're fine.
Yeah, maybe so since I do all these shows live, I get to determine where they go.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should start another channel that's just all unlisted so that it's just sending a duplicate to that channel.
And that's your insurance policy?
Yeah, so if this channel ever gets shut down, I just pull off the video that got me shut down and turn that one on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God, what a stupid game. What a stupid game. Even when you imitated the lady there who's your rep, I'm sorry, I can't do anything. It's just policy. I just want to throw up.
Anytime you hear someone talk about policy, you know you're fucked, and you know that like you're done dealing with not that she's not a person, but you're dealing with a book now. You're dealing with a rule book, and the rule book always wins.
She just wants to get home to her vibrator and make it and watch the new season of Yellowstone and eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Non-creators in a creative space are trouble. They're such trouble for us. They're such fucking trouble for us.
I think she is just a part of she's doing the best she can, and just that she can't override the machine. If she could pull the trigger for me, I'm sure she would do it. But I think it's out of her control, and so she's a liaison that doesn't have as much she can't override the YouTube machine, I guess. So it's just I think she's an all right person, but it is frustrating to have. Like, it's when you call an 800 number and you just know you're not going to get anything solved. It's like, fuck, like, I appreciate that you're nice to me, and I appreciate you're encouraging me, and I do think like you're helping me to an extent, but like, let's make let's give you, I wish you had the power to make the decision, you know?
When I worked at CrossFit Inc., I had 100 people who worked for me, and I only had one producer. Meaning, I had Tommy G, the director, editor, shooter, and I had 70 of those, right? So like the way you started.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's say you were a director, editor, and I'm simplifying it. Let's say you were a director, editor, and shooter at CrossFit Inc.
Mm-hmm.
And you would, and I was the media director. You would say to my producer, "Hey, there's this blind lady who does CrossFit in Milwaukee, and I want to go do a piece on her." And the producer would say, "Okay, cool." And then you'd say, "Hey, I'm taking my own camera gear, my own computer, but I'd like to get a new lens for this." And he'd be like, "All right, cool, just expense it and send it over." Or, "No, dickhead, I just got you 2 new lenses," you know? And then you'd be off. And then, or maybe he'd be like, another guy would come to you and be like, "Hey, I'm going to this town anyway to visit my family who lives there. All I want you to do is pay for airfare for me, split the difference with me. And that way I don't have to pay to visit my family, but I'll go to this CrossFit gym. I don't know what I'm going to make, but I'll make some shit." And you know that the guy's reliable. He's worked for you for 5 years. And that's how we worked. And the company was just owned by one dude. So you could do that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Then one time 60 Minutes came out to film with my fucking boss, Tommy. And they had like 8 producers. They had more producers than they had fucking camera guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you fucking idiots. And that's what happens when you get corporate. And that's what I meant when it's like you have non-creatives in the creative space and they're just dirtbag shitballs who create work. Sorry for being so negative, but that's for my wife. She doesn't like me name calling. I take that back. They're cogs in the system. They're not shitbag dirtballs. They're just people, and they've turned into cogs in the system who are trying to make their job relevant by signing off on shit. You only need one producer. You don't need 8 producers for one creative. You need just one producer and overwork him. He's a non-creative, and just let him. He's basically just your manager, making sure you have everything you need. And that's what me and you want. We just want people to get out of our way so we can make shit.
Yeah, I get that there's a yin and yang. Like you need people that can uphold some sort of structure so that the world doesn't burn down.
Sure.
But at the same point, when there's people that are actively like when it feels like there's just being hurdles thrown in your path, and it's like, please just let
you're never glorifying any of this shit in your videos. I feel like every video I start and I'm like, oh, goody, prostitutes. This is going to be fun. This is going to be cool. This is going to show how people make money sucking dick. And 3 minutes in, I'm like, God, this fucking is not what I expected.
Yeah.
Life is tough. Oh, wow. No one really wants a dick in their mouth. Fuck. Of course not, Sevan. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not like, hey, drinking cough syrup is cool. Like, not even close, not even a little bit.
When in Rome, do as the Romans. That was really my thought, was just, okay, if these fellows are doing it, I'll take a couple sips and see what happens.
The Dirt Bike Squad, I don't watch that and I'm like, hey, I want to do that. The whole time I'm like in your boat. I'm like, God, I hope none of these boys get killed.
Because I'm sure, especially as young men, and I think probably especially Caleb, you with all the guys that are using that money from the military to get a new car, new bike. Like I think we probably know someone that either hurt themselves or killed themselves on a motorcycle before. Like just young men just get into it, you know.
They think they're invincible. They just want to. They're like, this is the coolest thing ever, and I have money, so I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna get a big boy toy, and I'm just gonna go crazy with it. And they don't really think of the consequences. My wife's a firefighter, and I can't tell you how many times she's responded to motorcycle accidents. Yeah. And so I've asked her, I was like, you should let me get a motorcycle. And then she's like, no.
Absolutely not.
He's like, I just saw one today, and the guy's he's going to be on a breathing tube for the rest of his life if somebody doesn't pull the plug on him.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this too, is like, imagine, okay, let's just say you're the best driver in the world. You know that everyone else on the road is like, hey, they're driving like this. So you're gonna get smashed. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can drive a motorcycle as safely as you want, but when you're driving around 4-wheeled vehicles and semi trucks and shit like that, you can't really trust anybody else.
Look at this. Audrey's dude's only got one leg. Caleb, no. Oh, my friend has no leg because of a motorcycle accident.
I usually do it just to fuck with her, but I know that.
Fellas, as you know from last time, I have a small bladder. Give me just 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
I love a small bladder. Go pee away. God, I love him. Maybe that's why we bonded. He just got a small bladder. Maybe that's why. Hey, there's this video. It's called. There's 2 videos. There's a video where he's wrestling dudes. And a 7-foot dude comes up to him to win the $1,000. I don't want to show the whole video so that people will go. I don't see it on his YouTube station. It's weird.
I think it's the most recent one.
Is it?
Yeah. It's in.
Yeah. Sorry, it is. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Maybe you could pull that clip up and just show where the guy walks up. It's fucking nuts. Absolutely nuts. I'm being forced to get the vaccine for paramedic school in California. I don't think so. Coley Push. I don't think so.
It's really funny he says that because my home station just sent out a text message saying that it's mandatory to wear masks throughout the installation starting tomorrow.
Where you're at?
No, I'm back home.
Yeah. And that was one of the things you didn't wear the mask last time, right? That was mandatory.
No.
And you would get talked to
all the time.
Yeah, Coley, don't do it. Push back. See what happens. Hey, I swear to God, if you take a job where they're demanding you take the injection, look at the doctor in the eye and be like, hey, Can you let me inject myself and just take the needle and shoot it on the floor? Just turn your back to him. Like there's nothing that can hurt from you being bold in this situation. Just turn your back to the doctor. He knows what you're going to be doing. Take it and shoot it on the floor. Just shoot the load on the floor. Shoot it into your pants. Just open up your pants and shoot the fucking vaccine just down in there with your gack and balls. Bye-bye. Do not let them put that needle in you. I'm telling you, you're going to be so bummed. Even if nothing happens to you, even if you're perfectly healthy and you're fine, your whole life you're going to be wondering, fuck, do I got a clot? Don't do it.
Yeah, I think
Don't
or
do
just
it.
having the freedom to choose. I think like even if nothing happens to you, I think I get people like if they got a family of 4 and they're the sole breadwinner and it's either get it or don't have a job. I get like I'm
Right,
gonna get
right,
it,
right.
you know?
I would be so bummed right now with all the information coming out about it. I mean, even the CDC has now opened up an investigation. Those fucking lying knuckleheads.
Wait, our government lies to us? Are you sure?
On accident. It's an accident.
We
Hey,
just
have you?
didn't know.
Do you watch Rebel News? What?
I said we just didn't know. I'm sorry. Just forget about everything we did to you for the past 3 years.
Do you watch Rebel News? Sometimes.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Do you know the guy Avi? He's in Australia. Handsome, like Egyptian looking cat.
Okay.
Maybe 25, 30. They're in fucking Davos right now, and where all those corrupt motherfuckers are meeting. And they fucking find the CEO of Pfizer on the street. It's on Twitter. And they walk with him for 7 minutes. I'll send you the clip. It's such, and dude's just, I can't believe that dude isn't covered in security. But they just work him. They're just asking him nonstop questions, and it's so fucking good.
I just saw something yesterday that was so infuriating. It was like the dose from Moderna cost like $2.97, and then they're selling it for $130. But wasn't it our tax money that went into funding it?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
So we fund the creation of it, but then the profit of it is privatized just to them. It's like, huh?
Yes.
Like, how can you fuck us with our own money that you only did this because of our money?
The CDC is going to investigate themselves. I love it. Yes, they are. Okay. So Tommy does this thing where he walks around. Has anyone ever won the $1,000 from you?
Not yet.
And it used to be people could punch you, but this most recent one, they don't get to punch you.
Yeah, it was a little different. So my first challenge I did was for $200, you get to wear boxing gloves and try and knock me out. I can't hit you, but I can wrestle you. This one was just pure wrestling, $1,000 if you can take me down, just to prove that wrestling is one of the most dominant combat arts and you can control people without hurting them.
Yeah, and you're so nice to people. It's crazy. The singlet's hilarious. Does that freak people out?
If I just started slamming people on their heads on the beach, you know?
Does the singlet freak people out?
Yes, especially the brothers. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they think you're gonna rub your junk on them.
Mm-hmm.
Which you are going to. Okay, so you're fucking with those guys, and then this giant dude walks up. So they go get him, right? Like one of the guys admits at the end that he saw that guy earlier in the day, a giant dude who's 7 feet tall, and they went and got him to get you.
Yeah.
Now this guy I see him in your thumbnail. This guy, did you at that point are you like, hey, I'm not doing it?
No, I was just like,
I mean, he's 300 pounds, right?
Of course it's this guy. Yeah, he's 7'2". He said 3, I think he said 320, 330. So he's big boy, a big boy.
And then crazy. Anyway, you should go see this. It's pretty remarkable how calm. How about one of your camera guys? Are they like, hey, dude, does anyone be like, Tommy, don't do this?
No, because I think we talked about it before. Like, I'm like, what if we find Khabib on the beach? They're like, dude, it's still going to be a good show. So it's like, plus I can't say no to somebody. I can't be like, oh yeah, come like $1,000, come take me down and then back out for anybody. So
it's just different when like, if it was like, let's say you come across another, like a kid who is like, let's say you come across the guy who is the fucking #1 wrestler in college and he's on the beach with his girlfriend. He's like, yeah, I'll do this. That's different than a guy who's 7'2", 300 pounds. I mean, it's just,
Yeah, I'd rather face the guy that's 7'2".
Right. Right. But the guy who's 7'2", shit can go weird. Like he could fall on you and break your arm.
Yeah,
Like
I
there's
definitely
all
noticed-
sorts of bad shit that can happen with a giant person.
Yeah, wrestling or grappling with big guys is definitely more of a liability.
Like oh man. Anyway,
Especially if someone doesn't know how to move their body properly, like you just end up in positions that you don't normally encounter. So you got to be careful.
and then a fascinating thing happens that I hadn't seen in any of your other videos. And I don't want to reveal too much, but someone ends up wanting a rematch, and you say no, sorry. And I think that that's so brilliant that you don't do rematches, because I'm thinking the second time, especially with people who've been drinking, they might do something stupid.
Yeah, and you got to draw the line in the sand somewhere.
Yeah, like how many shots does he get at the $1,000? What if that guy who wanted a rematch, and I don't want to reveal too much, what if he would have said, hey, I'll put up 1,000 against your 1,000?
Okay.
Then you would have done it?
Yeah.
Hey, and one of you, and who carries the $1,000? I guess one of the camera guys got it on him.
Yeah, my guy Keegan had it on him.
Yeah. Anyone ever try to get you guys at gunpoint for it?
No. We were on a public beach.
What do you think about this guy who's tackling deadbeat dads?
Oh, I think I've seen that guy.
It's a crazy Instagram account. It's crazy.
What is he called?
Maybe Caleb can find it. I don't know. It's a private account. It has 800,000 followers.
I'll have to check that out because that's of interest to me. I definitely think, like, how can you be a dad and not want to be in your kid's life?
The thing is all of those I watch, I'm like, are these really deadbeat dads? So, dude, he just goes like, someone will be like, hey, this dude, the deadbeat dad's in 7-Eleven right now. So he goes in there and he's in all football pads. And then like his friend is like, yo, you bitch ass nigga, I'll come out here, I'll fuck you up. Come out here, you bitch ass nigga. And he's like doing that. And so the dude's like, yeah, you want some? And then he comes out and this football player just blindsides
levels him.
Yeah. So it'd be like me calling people out to fight and then they got to fight you. You know what I mean? And it's crazy.
I'm trying to find this guy's.
Oh, here it is, dude. It's so crazy. Oh,
come on.
Look at him. Look at it.
Come on.
So he said something like, hey, is your name Winstrom or whatever? And then the guy goes, yeah, who's asking? And he goes, so-and-so says you're a bitch ass nigga that's not paying your bills. And then he goes, oh, you want some? And then he just drills him.
Big Prime Time. That's his name.
Oh, it's crazy.
Wow.
I think it's the only Instagram account. I think I watched all of his videos 3 times. I mean, and they have they put sound effects with it, like a garage door slamming every time he hits the guy. Jeremy, Tommy, where can we meet up? I could use 1,000. Oh, damn, Jeremy, you don't want none of this, dude. I'm telling you.
Just find me the next time I do the challenge somewhere random in the United States. So that's what I would say.
Hey, is that a pretty impromptu bit?
I knew I was going to do it on the Miami trip. I knew I was.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have to get pretty like those? I was thinking it's equivalent to like those guys who ride the motorcycles. Like you must get a pretty crazy adrenaline rush walking around, just letting anyone in the world say, yeah, I'll wrestle you.
Yeah, the nerves definitely creep in a little bit because it's just you don't know who you're going to encounter, what you're going to walk into, and $1,000 is a nice chunk of change.
And you must have been pretty excited when a guy who's 7'2", 300 pounds approaches you, because at least now you know. Well, at least I mean, it's better than 20, 16-year-old kids with do rags, right? Because they're obviously going to be easier for you. I mean, yeah, look at this dude. Oh, Nelly. And he's drinking a Gatorade.
He's honestly the best person that could have walked up, though. Like that's ideal YouTube content right there.
That's when you know you've chosen the right profession.
That is something that's fun about the path. It's like when you're on the path and like little doors open up that you're like, like that's interesting, that's cool. And it feels like the universe is patting you on the back a little bit, but then it's also like when you get the strike or you get some different things that put hurdles in your path. It's just all part of the journey, and you have to take both of them in stride and move forward the best you can.
So tell me about the real estate business. That's what really excited me last time I talked to you. So you're in Milwaukee. Ever since then, I've been like Trulia on going crazy. Yeah, I'd use Trulia, but for Milwaukee. So can you tell me a little bit about that? What you do?
Yeah. So basically, our game. So I have one portfolio of just my own, and then one portfolio of me and my partner. And so what we look for is to try and get the 2% rule. So we'll get a property, and I'll break this down for people. So, and this is how crazy the market is in Milwaukee. So we can get a property, a duplex in a really tough area for about 50, 52K. Then we're going to put about 25, 28 into it, be all in at 80K. And then we'll charge 800 for a 2-bedroom unit. That's nice. And that's the other big key on our business plan is there's a lot of terrible properties. I've been in properties where the roof has a leak, the upstairs ceiling is caved in, and then the downstairs ceiling is caved in, and it's been like that for 4 years, and the landlord hasn't done anything. Like that stuff is all over the place. But we're all in at 80K. We're bringing in 1,600 a month per unit. We really take time to find good people. We make sure the place is good, and then we keep growing from there. And like I have a building right now that this is absurd, but I bought it for 67. I put 5,500 into it to get the floors refinished. And I'm going to have a person that's going to pay $2,000 a month in rent because she's running kind of a business operation, like a home healthcare-ish type operation out of there. And so that's going to be a 3% rule property, which is going to be absurd. And
so let me ask you a question. So let's say you'll find a place, and do you do due diligence on it, or is it just Milwaukee and like you just get what you can that's cheap, and then you just have contractors come in and basically there's no like, do you have to deal with the city with code? Let's say you buy a place and the roof is collapsing. Do you just fix it on the down low?
Well, so I walk every place with my contractor first. If we get the green light, we'll put the offer. And then if we get the offer, we always have an inspection contingency. So I'll have my guy walk it, 24 or 48 hours after we sign to make sure that it is okay. And as long as the foundation's okay, the electric's okay, the plumbing's okay, and that our rehab budget is factored into our 2% rule, then we pull the trigger and do it. But anything that's like terrible, we stay away from. We want solid bones. We want a lot of cosmetic work. We don't want to have to deal with nonsense because sometimes the city can be on your ass. Like we inherited a building that we didn't know the city had on its list, but we bought this 4-unit building for $60,000. Wow. But it was on the city shit list. So we inherited that. But since then we've put about 100 into it, the roofs, the gutters, every single unit redone, new furnaces, new water heaters, everything from top to bottom. And yet the city is still like, they tried writing us up for window screens. And I'm like, dude, every house on this entire block for like a few block radius, name one house that $100,000 has been invested to make it better. How are you coming after us for $15 window screens? Right. Like, bitch, like it's just, I don't know if it's like they think that these guys have money, so we're going to go after them, or what raised their flag about us. But I'm like, we're actively improving the place. Like it's visibly happening in front of your eyes. How are you going to come at us for cheap nonsense like a window screen?
And the guy who's in charge of do you have a finance guy? Meaning like, do you work strictly with just one bank?
Let's see.
Like that you do all your loans with?
So yeah, my partner is the money behind the portfolio we share. And so we do a lot of our off-market deals. So it's all cash. And then we refinance through one specific company. But then for me, like the single families I'm buying are on market. And I go through a particular mortgage lender for that. But, if I go on market, I can buy 4 properties with the same money that if I go off market, I can buy 1 property.
Explain. I don't know what that means, on market versus off market.
Okay. So on market is the normal real estate world. If you're looking for a house, you buy a property that's listed on Zillow, on Trulia, and you put 20 to 25% down. Off market are these cash deals that usually require a lot more work, because if they didn't require work, they would just sell it on market and get top dollar for it. But it's like depressed properties that need work. Like, let's say I can get a duplex that's normally worth 80K. I'll buy it off market for 60, 65K. But I have to.
How do you find that?
There's off market Facebook pages. So like, I can invite you to the Milwaukee one, but they have. So there's always deals running through that Facebook page, and that's how. And then you, like, tomorrow at 10:30, I'm walking a property with my contractor that might be a good fit for what we're doing. So we just, that's kind of the deal source.
Yeah, you kind of find stuff through neighbors and stuff too. Like, my wife and I are looking for property, and like just family members who are trying to sell properties, but they don't want to sell it on a Zillow or whatever. They just tell us like, hey, we're going to sell this like person to person. Do you want to take it?
Mm-hmm.
A couple things. I want to get to Bruce Wayne's question. Do you have a course you teach, or do you take? Do you do any mentoring?
Eventually, I would like to do seminars for YouTube growth, and I would love to present at a real estate seminar. I don't think most people don't know I do real estate. I don't think they would take me seriously until they heard me talk about it. But so I don't really have anything. One of the questions was, do I burr everything?
Yeah, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Basically, do you cash out, refinance everything? Like, you buy a property, and then after 6 months, you can refinance it. So you pull out 70 or 80% of the value, and then you can use that to buy your next property.
Right.
So basically, you're continually using you buy one house, and you keep getting the next,
leveraging them
with that same money.
Yeah.
That's more or less part of our strategy as well.
So, but here's the part I don't understand about that. So you buy a place for 40, you put 40 into it. It's now 80. You rent it out for $2,000 a month. You've now completed the 2% rule. You're pretty fucking stoked. But if you then want to pull the money out of that, isn't it just, I
have
see.
A mortgage now.
Okay. So when you buy it for 40 originally, you buy it with cash.
Yes.
Okay, and then maybe it gets evaled at 100,000 since you've if you're lucky.
Exactly.
And now you can. Okay.
And then hopefully you can pull all the money out of it. And
how have the interest rates fucked with your whole plan?
They're bad, but like some of the people that teach you how to be wealthy say it's not timing the market, it's time in the market. So if the numbers still make sense, even though the interest rates are 7% right now, if the mortgage the insurance, the property taxes is $450 a month, and I'm bringing in $1,200 a month, I'm going to cash flow and appreciate. So it's always a numbers game. If the numbers make sense, then you go for
it. And this is exciting shit.
I like that's, and when we talk about, you were saying way earlier, like people talk about getting education that's the wrong idea. You want to be free. Like, this is the easiest way I know of to be free is real estate. And it's going to take time. Like, because people think landlords make tons and tons of money, and yes, it's possible, but like, you might buy a property. Like my first property I ever bought, I bought it for $157. My mortgage is about $1,300 a month. And it brings in, I've renovated it, so I put more into it than what I initially purchased. I probably profit about $1,500 a month for a 4-unit building, and that's a pretty good deal. But think about how many of those I have to be making a 6-figure income. I have to have 5 of those properties to be making 6 figures. So,
and that's a full-time job now. And then when you have that, you have to hire someone to manage those properties unless you want to do it. Yeah,
I manage it. So like, hey, furnace
what do you
went
do?
out. It's Christmas Eve. The furnace went out. Who's making the phone calls? Me. And some of that can be stressful. So it's like, definitely
could be. I just watched a video where you were fucking in Mexico, where the police raided a spot, and you're like, excuse me, I know I'm at gunpoint, but yeah. Oh, okay. The roof's leaking. All right, hold on. I just got to get out of Mexico alive, and then I'll be over there to fix it.
Yeah. So real estate is lucrative. It's a good game if you know how to look at numbers, and you have good relationships with contractors and different people that you need on your team. But it's not a headache-free occupation, especially if you care about your tenants, you care about your buildings. Like you gotta stay on your P's and Q's.
Imagine how crazy it is for that dude that you had, the $100 million guy. He has hundreds of properties.
Yeah, he has a management company for all of it, so he doesn't answer anything. He just cruises, which maybe one day will be a good strategy. But I just know that any management company that will touch the hood in Milwaukee is usually dog shit. So it's like I don't want my tenants to have a terrible experience. So at the moment, I'm going to manage it, even though it takes a disproportionate amount of my time compared to income.
When I first got this job at CrossFit, I bought this house, and the real estate agent told me that I told him I wanted a 15-year loan, and he's like, "Hey, dude, the interest rates are so low. There's no reason to do that. You don't save that much money on a 15-year loan." At the time, this was in 2011, and I was like, "I don't care. Give me a 15-year loan." He goes, "Hey, it's just not smart use of your money." I'm like, I don't care about smart use of my money. I just know myself. And then and I had I had 3 houses at the time, and I would pay with every paycheck. I'd never saved a penny. I paid all my mortgages twice a month on 15-year loans, so that made 24 payments a year, and I would always be fucking broke. But I didn't
What
care.
was your
And
interest rate?
Low, 3.25.
So
right?
do you want the counterpoint, or do you want to just keep going?
Well, I'll tell you the rest of the story, and then you tell me. And the day I got fucking fired from my job, I paid off 2 of my houses. And fuck, dude, that was a huge relief. Like you know what I mean? Like
I
it
would
was
definitely
like,
say this. I agree with you on the idea of of being free and clear, not having debt under your name is definitely nice. But the way, and this is how rich people get way richer, is like, look, the bank, you're using the bank's money at 3%. If I know, even if I just put it in the S&P 500, I'm going to do 10% a year. That 7% I could be making, or I can sink it all into the property.
Right.
So
I needed to meet you back, and I didn't even have kids when I was doing that in the beginning, so it was like even dumber. But it worked out for me. But I wish I would have known you. But you were in fucking diapers then. Yeah,
I was still pooping my pants probably.
Yeah, you were, and now you're. How old are you now, Tommy?
29.
God, I have a 29. Sevan, what do you do? Well, I'm kind of retired, but I have this 29-year-old real estate mentor who's helping me slowly. What about managing other people's property?
I'm open to it, but I think there's an up and coming property manager that only has 40 doors, which means he has the bandwidth to keep adding. I don't know. For the amount I would charge you.
You mean the guy you know that you like?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yes, I'm still have to experiment with him, but from what I hear, he's really solid. I got good referrals on him. Basically this, because I have a couple people now, like there's another YouTube guy that wants to go into Milwaukee and because he can just get so much more than what he has out in Arizona. But because of the time management takes, and also I'm going to charge you almost double what a normal property manager would charge you, just because for it to be worth my time. And it still isn't even that. It's not that. What's lucrative is back end. If I get equity on the back end, that makes it more worth my time to manage a place.
Right.
But
and you should. You're saying so, like, hey, and then also, I think the person who's investing would like that too, because then you actually give a shit about the place.
Exactly.
If you're 10% owner in every house you're managing, like all of a sudden you give a shit. The way I would structure
it is I own equity on the profit. So when you sell the place, let's say we sell it 10 years from now and we have a 40K profit, maybe I say that's 20. I'll be a 20% stakeholder. If you want me to answer every furnace call, oh, we have roaches, I'll clean your kitchen. Like all those little things that you have to encounter. Oh, wait, you have 3 dogs at the property right now? What are you doing, dude? And so definitely something worth thinking about.
Yeah. So are kids in the are you using contraception?
I've always been a raw dogger, boy.
Oh, okay. And what's going to happen if you get your wife? Is it making one documentary every week? And it looks like a lot of your documentaries are getting 1 million views on average, some significantly more. What happens? How are you going to maintain that schedule? God, Kensington, the City of Zombies. I watched that one too. 3 million views. What's going to happen? How are you going to raise a kid and do one video a week?
Yeah, so here's my thoughts on it. One is I want to be in a position that I can have a part-time or full-time nanny help my wife.
Yeah.
Two is I travel.
Lupita. You want a Lupita?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Racist.
I travel probably 5 to 7 days a month, but otherwise I'm home. So I want to be heavily involved in helping raise my kids, but also like this is the machine that funds our existence. So I'm gonna have to keep going. So I want to.
So the model isn't okay, and that help me understand. The model isn't 4 documentaries a month, 4 different cities. The model is go to LA, do like maybe a brothel one, a rave one, LA's a border town one with Tijuana and San Diego, and then the wealthiest homeless guy you ever met, and it's like a millionaire who lives homeless in Venice Beach. Film all that shit, and then for 5 or 6 days, and then flee back to the Milwaukee Tommy G empire and start the editing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds smart.
I think it's the best way to have the best of both worlds. Like I am a homebody by nature. I love my wife. I love my dog. I love being home. So I don't want to travel too much, but this is the way to get it done and be prolific and still put numbers up on the board. So like the other goal though is to build enough of a portfolio that if I am not interested in YouTube anymore or YouTube deletes my channel, that I'm still okay, because I never want to have to go back and get a job I hate. And I just refuse. So I'm going to.
What was the last job you had you hated?
Oh my gosh, dude. It was a nice company. As far as companies go.
You weren't blowing guys for $180, were you?
No, unfortunately I wasn't. But, it was a company called BI Worldwide, and I was a very young hire there. So basically my job was I was calling on Fortune 500 companies, and I was supposed to pitch their C-suite executives on ideas that were going to increase sales or increase. It was a very consultant type job, and but it was so boring. Like the amount of nonsense meetings, the amount of times, like the last straw for them is they sent me out to an HVAC conference in Las Vegas because I was supposed to be calling on Johnson Controls. And I always have to talk to people about chillers and boilers and act like I was excited about it. And it was killing me. I would go back to my hotel room and just not be happy. And when they were also expecting me to like on the floor of this trade show to like find my way into a meeting with the CEO and sell him on a $2 million whatever. And I couldn't do it. I just could hardly bring myself to do anything there. And so once they heard about my report from the Las Vegas trip, I was let go shortly after. And
why? What was the report? By the way, when I hear about an HVAC convention in Vegas, I just picture it being 10,000 guys who are 60 pounds overweight, looking for an excuse to bang whores. Like I don't buy
drink heavily.
Yes.
Escape their life a little bit.
So what happened to your report?
When I just told them who all I talked to and where that led, because like they were wanting me to like take people out for dinner on the spot there. I didn't bring anyone out to dinner. So it's like, I just like the idea, everything about that job it was a difficult job. And so once they heard I didn't make much progress, they're like, yeah, his heart's not in it. And I was like, yeah, it's not. And I've been journaling every morning for like the last 3 or 4 months before that. Like, so this was in February. They fired me on February 15th. My goal was by, I think it was March 15th of 2022, I will quit my job. So it was going to happen, but they just helped me out the door quicker. And I kind of didn't have the nuts, it felt like it sometimes to do it myself. So I'm like, them firing me was like the coolest thing that ever happened to me. It was so much relief. I just felt so free, and I just chased YouTube and real estate full time, and I'm never going back. I'm never going back.
Manny Serrano. I actually met Manny in Newport. We had lunch together. Very impressed with Tommy. Very inspirational to our younger generation.
Well, thank you, Manny.
Yeah, to all. He's so inspirational to me. I love this dude. Hey, what about more content where more wealthy, where you hang out with more wealthy people? Is that fun content to make? And I'm trying to look at the numbers on this $100 million guy.
Yeah, that video kind of bombed, I thought, compared to what it should have done. But
hey, when he says bombed, it's 250,000 views.
But you think like the chance to see $100 million in a man's life, I thought that would be like just skyrocketing. But yes, I'm actively trying to find a billionaire to spend a day with.
Yeah.
And as I grow too, the thing is, anyone that has like an HR handbook, like they say no to me. Like I was gonna film with a doctor about a ketamine experience. He's like, upon further checking out your channel, it's too risky to associate our business with you. And it's like, okay, like I'm not doing anything crazy. I just happen to. The fact that I'll talk to anybody scares like the proper people away.
Of course, dude. You're real. No one else is. Oh, that's why your stories are all like this. Your only deal, you're real. None of those people can afford to be real. Being real opens up lawsuits.
To have a guy like me asking him any. So
yes,
this isn't going to be. So under the radar, I have a meeting, a off the record meeting with a U.S. senator next week.
Yeah,
and if his team likes me and they whatever, I don't know what we have to talk about, but just if they get the feel for me, the pitch is to take me to the U.S. Capitol building and be able to ask people any question I want. And part of me wants to say to this guy, like, look, unless you're afraid of telling the truth, I can see no reason why this isn't a good idea for both of us. But will they let me in? And I don't know. But I feel like any place like that has like, oh, we have our public image representative. Like those places usually don't let me in.
What about the Republican kid who's in a wheelchair?
Madison Crawley.
Yeah.
I guess I'd speak with him. Didn't he go down for some weird shit? I don't know what I heard about him.
Did he? Well, he did go down for some weird shit.
Yeah, it was something stupid. Let me go look.
Like they found a swastika tattooed on the small of his back.
No, he was. I think he slept with a Russian spy or something. Or like
that's fine. That's fine.
Oh,
no, it's not fine.
Oh,
that's a national security risk.
Yeah, right. Sorry. Right. Well, if you're married, it's not good. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm a dedicated man. I won't bite the apple of temptation. So.
Yeah, me neither.
Because this is the thing.
Just don't get married if you want to fuck other chicks. It's totally cool, but don't get married if you want to fuck. Once you're married, just put it away. It's okay.
Well, also, there's nothing better than having a woman that has your back and that is your like best pal, and you can like they're helping you build the empire. And so I think that's something that I wish was more stated in the culture. But I think obviously things that sell are things that are short-term pleasure, but it's like the dudes I knew that were banging everyone were depressed. And so I love
you never went through a phase where you banged everyone? I did. I was not depressed. I thought it was fun.
I mean, I went through one Tinder phase where I was averaging about a chick a month for a year, and I got
I didn't do Tinder. I had to earn them. Like I had to like go out and eat lunch with these girls, and I'm not talking about one night stands. I'm talking about like just like have like 10 girlfriends.
Well, I never got to that place in my life. And I don't think I ever will. But
no, the door's closed for you now. I guess Tinder fucks all of that up because you can have one night stands. Plus, you're tall and good looking and strong and stuff. Like I have to earn Beaver. There's no like I don't go somewhere and just like some chick be like, oh, you're cute, let's go.
I think realizing that it's all overrated, or if my wife ever like develops an interest for females, I'll encourage it, but at the moment I don't think it's going to be ever happening.
Right. The grass is always greener on the other side. Well, it's never greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is saying that it was Eric Solwell. I remember he banged the Chinese spy.
Apparently, this Madison Cawthorn guy is talking about being invited to cocaine-fueled orgies held by fellow lawmakers in Washington, D.C. And I don't know.
How else are you supposed to fuel an orgy?
Fair question. Fair question. I just want to ask those people, like, I want to bump into Nancy Pelosi and be like, Nancy, congratulations on your $100 million portfolio of your husband that's not even a hedge fund trader, but is somehow out trading hedge funds. Can you tell me more about that?
Please.
Oh, like, you guys are, like, what do you think about when Americans just don't trust you? And, like, we keep noticing the military industrial complex going crazy. Like, I just saw this story about BlackRock, the big financial firm that they own. All these big, huge interests in Lockheed Martin and all these weapons manufacturers.
Oh, I think BlackRock, I think Blackstone is the
Blackstone.
Yeah, and BlackRock is the other one. I don't know if they're affiliated, but they're the ones who that work like
Same
where
umbrella,
Caleb's working. Like they basically kill people for money.
But here's the part that was kind of no, that's the mercenary group. That's the mercenary group. No, this is
they're legal, but they're legal, but they're
But the fact that BlackRock they're going to provide the bullets and the bombs to Ukraine and make large amounts of money off of that, which also our taxpayer money is funding that. And then, but they also just made a deal with Zelensky that they're going to help rebuild. And it's like, oh, so you get to like destroy and profit from the rebuilding of it. Like, what?
That's cool. We're going to bomb the fuck out of you, but don't worry. We're going to send contractors in and fix you. And
all of the senators that helped that bill pass are going to have some great deposits in an offshore account. It's like
I have to call my wife for 1 second real quick. Sorry.
All good. Do you want us to stop talking or?
No. Well, yeah, sure. Just because then I can't listen.
Let's listen.
Time. Yeah, you guys could listen if you want. I'm supposed to be in the car at 8:30.
Hello.
Hi. Am I taking the kids skateboarding still?
Well, I texted Josh asking if it was dry, and he hasn't responded. So I'm just getting them ready to go.
Okay. Okay. I'll be there in 4 minutes. Okay. Hello, Haley.
Oh.
I'll be there. I'll be there in 4 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Say you love me, so they think we have a good relationship.
I love you so much. I can't wait to see you in 4 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. I love you too. Bye.
Bye.
There you go. My wife loves me. That was easy.
Sounds like I know the Irish goodbye is about to happen, and it's time to move on with the next part of the day.
Oh, what's an Irish goodbye? Like when you go somewhere?
Kind of sneak out of the party and no one notices you're gone.
Dude, I would need to have you on regularly.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Every couple months.
Yeah, you're the man. I want to go through these videos for just really quick with you guys. There's one where he fights a 7-foot giant. There's a Mexican border one. I think we talked about maybe that one last time, but what's weird is it says 2 weeks ago. No, I watched it. That one's great too. The Mexican police raid is fantastic. He was actually at the house interviewing a gangster rapper, which needs its own story on its own. This kid was born in Mexico, but raised in the U.S., and then ICE got him and deported him. But he's clearly in Mexico.
He got deported because of all the felonies he committed in the United States.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. But either way, like, it's fucked up because he's clearly an American. Like, he's been in the country for too long to deport back to Mexico. Then Murder Creek rappers, Pimps and Prostitutes. The Pimps and Prostitutes is really good. If you want to have your whole image, like, especially if you got a problem like fucking prostitutes, watch that one. You'll stop doing it.
I think that's probably one of the best pieces we've come out with is the Pimps and Prostitutes one.
Yeah. The OnlyFans girl was it was good because it just showed you, it just reminded me just how pathetic people were. Like, in the sense that, like, I never the whole time you were watching that video was like, oh, I wish I was at that party. I was like, oh, that life just looks glamorous and it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this Most Dangerous Hood in Philly, must watch it because really Tommy meets two other just cool dudes. Oh, that one guy sounds just like Chris Rock.
Mm-hmm. That's what everyone said.
I got to get that guy on my podcast.
Dude, you should definitely get some of these. Like, I wonder if I can get you a trapper or anyone like that if you'd be interested. We can.
I would
talk.
I would love to. And I reached out to what's his name, the guy in the dirt bike video. What's his name? Leaky
Leaky the bike star.
Leaky the bike star. The mole people, way better than I thought. It's 27 minutes long. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to watch this. I was fucking captivated. Insane Asylum. I didn't watch Graveyard Ceremony. The $100 million one. If you don't watch this $100 million one, you're fucking nuts. You have to watch this. I know. I can't believe that one. I guess no one wants to make $100 million.
Or maybe that's not a big enough number these days. I don't know.
Oh, it's big.
Yeah, it's big.
All right, Mr. Tommy, thanks for your morning, dude.
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Okay.
Your wealth of knowledge, and we'll talk soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Tommy.
All right. Oh, he's gone. Just like that. Bye-bye. I like it how he had to go to the bathroom. That was awesome.
I don't think we've had a guest do that before. Maybe we have. I can't remember.
I'm looking at my okay, the park is mostly dry. Okay, I guess I'll bring a blower and a broom. Guys, a Brian Friend, not that kind of blower, like a leaf blower.
I know.
Okay. Brian Friend is at Mayhem. I don't know what he's doing there. Like, I guess some investigative reporting for the bar bend. But so I want to see, he's been there for 2 days. Facundo is hosting him. He's at the Mayhem Empire. You know, that's the place that the Rich Froning compound. And I guess there's a shitload of athletes in town. And so I just wanted to try to get him on the show this evening and talk to him and find out what's going on there. And so I'm going to try to do a show this evening. But now I must take off and play with my kids for the next 9 hours. Thank you for checking in. Love you guys. Tommy G, you the man. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Oh, you know who we have on tomorrow? We have Aaron Ginn on tomorrow. Aaron Ginn was one of the first guys. He's a entrepreneur, and he's a tech guy, Silicon Valley tech guy. And that's not till 9 a.m. tomorrow. Well, that sucks.
Yeah, the late morning one.
He was one of the first guys to openly publish an article about hey, something's not right with the COVID numbers. And he published it to Medium, and it got pulled down, and he got a lot of fucking heat for it. But he was one of the first guys, I want to say around January of 2020. Was like, hey, something's not right. This is bullshit. These COVID numbers are bullshit. And he crunched the math. And of course, he's a tech geek. And anyway, we have him on tomorrow. I think he's a very successful man too, by the way, in terms of financially, business, tech. So it'll be cool to have him on and see where the conversation goes. All right, guys. I will. His name's Aaron Ginn. Anyone who wants to check him out. I think he's got a pretty solid Twitter presence. Ciao MFS. Yes.